1981, and it's in a bit of a sorry state. Now, when you look at it, I think it's an L reg, it's about 1972, so it's probably come off the road when it was 9 years old. Now, can you imagine a 9-year-old car nowadays having a repaired door handle like this? And then we look inside, someone's put a girder down the side with an aluminium seal pocketed off. And this was 9 years old. So imagine a 9-year-old car nowadays being like this. So this particular car is it's not actually come in for restoration. It's mine, that bit of a deal with someone. But I wanted to, Ian and I just wanted to talk about how we deal with things like this when they come in. Because this is the sort of the classic car that would come in for work, and it's a bit similar to the yellow one down there. I don't know if you've seen the photos over there, but it gives you an idea. But the most important thing with restoration, which a lot of people don't understand, is you've got to understand what the customer wants from the car. Everyone's got a different expectation. Some people want an engine bay that looks very pretty. Some people aren't interested in what the engine bay looks like. Some people want modifications, some people don't, and you've got to understand people's budgets and try and work to their budgets. Okay, so what Ian and I will probably do first of all when this turns up is, after I've discussed with the customer how much money he's got to spend, and in this case he's going to need quite a lot, we will be trying to work out what the customer... I'm sometimes a bit rude with it, because there's no point in me quoting on restoring this if the customer's got £4 grand to spend. So I normally sort of say, look, tell me how much you want to spend first, and we'll talk about and work out what we can do. So sometimes we might actually be making it MOT standard and ignoring this, and ignoring the door, which would probably hit for an MOT if we deal with a piece of rust down here. If the customer has got an open checkbook, and we're going to go through the whole thing properly. Once we know what we're doing, the car will first of all need to be stripped. So we get the glass out, and then we get the panels out, and then Ian and I will spend quite a lot of time just talking about how we're going to do it, what we're going to do first, and in what way. And I'll perhaps pass you over to Ian.
Okay, right. As we said. Sorry Ragnar, as Rob said, we go through the vehicle, find out what the customer wanted, how we're going to tackle the job. It'll be completely stripped out, the interior will be taken out, any matting in the carpet will be taken out, the dash will be taken out, the steering column will be taken out, doors, glass, wings, front wings, bonnet, everything will be stripped down to a bare shell, and then we can see what we was actually looking at. A lot of things with restoration that people don't really understand is, what you can see on the surface is not necessarily what's underneath. A lot of the work is underneath, and it can just lead into mountains and mountains of stuff being cut out and replaced that sometimes is unforeseen. We can quote a certain figure, but it has to be a little bit flexible, because we don't actually know until we get into it what's really involved. We've come across some right cases where there's been some right work. There was one particular one, I think that white one that we did for that lady from Ireland, where she had to get a new shell, because the shell was, once we got into it, the back end was so far gone inside that the complete rear end was virtually missing. So
I mean, this Singer here is a classic job, and how bad they get. It's a shame you can't really see it, but the floors, the inner seals, the outer seals, every possible, all the chassis rails, sections this long the chassis rail need replacing, all the supports that come off the chassis rail out to the outer seals all need replacing. It's the same with these. And just sorry to interrupt you there, but what you have to understand is you can't just phone up the Singer Vogue specialist in parts. The jacking point on the back to the axle, to the rear axle, about that long, is a complicated box section shell, and Ian is literally having to
made by hand.
Make the whole lot. He's not buying it. He's had to make the whole lot, just replace the whole lot.
What I normally do is start off with a flat sheet of metal. I'll make cardboard templates of what I need, then mark them out onto the metal, cut the metal, either fold it by hand or over a dolly or around a part of the ramp, anything to form the shape. weld it all up, put it in situ, and weld it all in place. We've had to put all the rear hangers on that one for the leaf springs on the back, all that gone. So there's a lot of restoration going on. That's a big job.
Do you ever use stainless steel or anything like that?
I suppose we could, but it's facilities for welding, because the welding is different with stainless. You use pure iron. It's better to have a TIG set because it's easier, it's stronger, it's cleaner.
Probably stronger. It's harder to shape as well.
It's harder to shape, yeah, because it's quite springy stainless. You sort of have to overbend it to get it to come back to where you want it.
You have to be careful if you've got two dissimilar metals that's going to get electronics.
Yeah.
Tin and stainless steel. You're going to get the voltage and the voltage all the way.
Yeah, you can't really put stainless on a mild steel. Because you'd have to use like a mild steel weld, and then the weld will rot, but the stainless one.
There's always something else that will rot. That's the problem.
And sometimes the stainless gets hard and brittle and it can crack. Whereas the mild steel, crystallised layers.
So yeah. So once Ian's done the welding, the customer's then got the option of whether he has a cheap underseal put underneath of it, or whether he has the expensive 2-pack put underneath of it. Once we're in that stage, then the car gets put back together, which is quite soul destroying, because you normally have all the components put in a bag, put them upstairs to get them out of the way, and then you've got to take them all out, because you've got to put the door handles in and the catches to make sure that the door shut off. But once that's all done, then the car is ready to go to the paint shop. And it's normally not at the paint shop very long. Comes back a completely different car. So I mean, looking at the yellow one, that was a pretty poor looking car when it went to the paint shop, and then it comes back and we've got this car that looks like brand new. It's stunning. And then once it comes back, then the depressing thing is you go to your bags and then you find all the stuff that looked okay when you took it off. Now next to the brand new car looks just disgusting. So you then have this embarrassing conversation with the customer saying, look, do you really want me to put this back on your car? And sometimes people want new things and sometimes people want the old things back on. But it's just a bit depressing. We're not doing cars that, you know, some of these restoration companies are very fortunate they can just put their hands to new chrome trims and things like that, and it's lovely to be able to do it. But if you're restoring this and you've got this Mazak door handle where it's all kitted, to put that back in, it's not very nice. But to actually find one is not a particularly easy job either. So the car is then slowly put back together again, the doors and components are normally wax injected before you put the door cards back on. And then you've got your wheels to deal with, tyres. I mean, that one, there's nothing wrong with that tyre. That's the kind of idea. But
can you always get the glass from?
Yeah, glass is never normally a problem. The glass is normally okay when you take them out. It depends on what car you're dealing with. With the GS, one thing we're going to have a problem with that is the interior that we're starting to put back in is letting it down, and the bumpers are not going to look very nice, so we're going to have to deal with that. But a lot of people think you make a lot of money on restoration, and it is just completely untrue. It is a massive, massive uphill battle. If I had all these Rams doing restoration, we wouldn't be in business. It's just not, you know, it's big, you get a lot of money, it's a big bill, but the hours it takes is just, I mean, the hours on that, I'm actually refitting that for free. I'm going to have to do it because there's no money. The pot's run out of money, so I'm going to have to refit it for free. So it's, but you know, I also think it's just lovely to see something that's come in completely dead to come back stunning, and it's very it's therapeutic and it's very rewarding. That sort of thing. So,
Rob, the customer's complaining about the engine's a bit tight on it, mate. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Now, I will just say that Vic and I were really hoping to get this engine running. We thought it would be wonderful to get this thing running. We did have an AMI 8 that had been off the road since 1985, and we took the plugs out, vacuum cleaned it in the bores to get the carbon out, and it wasn't seized, and we got it running, and it was fantastic seeing it run with the smoke come out. But sadly, Vic and I have tried,
all sorts.
We have tried all sorts to get this thing unseized, and I mean, you shouldn't, when you get an engine seized quite badly, you shouldn't really lever it, but we have really tried to lever it, because we were getting to a stage where, you know, it's not really going to be any good anyway, let's try and lever it, just to get it running. But it's just, you know, we've had a lever bar like this, and it is truly seized. So sadly, this poor little thing needs a bit more work, but so I was hoping to do that today, but it's not going to happen. Is there any questions? Tim?
Do you get to the point in the early stages of evaluation, stripping back and looking, where the decision is actually not to
No, we always do that. I will not kill a car.
Okay.
No, I mean, my Singer here, I mean, that was... I sold a Singer Rogue that had a perfect body shell for £300. And the sensible thing would have bought that in, strip it, paint it the silver. But instead, I've sold the other one, because he's going to restore that, and I'm going to restore this. I just do not. They're too valuable. They're not valuable, but you know, there's only 90 to 100 left, and if everyone has that attitude, we're not going to have any of these classics left. So, no, it's the customer that will kill it, not me. I'll always try. Anyone else?
I'm just going to observe, Rob. One thing I like when you did Michael was that you said photographs all the way through. I'd say, and it was, I mean, you talked about having to cut back the floor. That was an example where I think you cut far more than you thought.
Yes, yeah.
But I did appreciate the fact that every step of the way, because obviously I'm not local, you can take photographs and say, I found this rust. Yeah, so further back and further back. But I did get the fact that what gives quite a small amount of money, we need to spend a lot more just to say.
Yeah, but your car is a classic, David.
Yeah.
That because your car is pretty unique and very nice, you decided that we're not going to actually put a plate on the floor. We want the original contour. So you had a new contour. Sorry, you had a new inner floor pan as well as the outer, so it was done to original specification.
And you made the box section, didn't you? I think as well on that too. I think there was a whole. You went
so we send the photo so that you can actually see that it's there, what was there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we don't just phone you up and say we found this and we want another 300 or 400 whatever like. You do find it, there's a lot that you don't see. Once you start chipping away that undersill and layers of mud, and then you can put your hand through a lot of the metal. And especially
They're always worse.
BX is up here, BX is on the inside.
I was using it as an example of where a carbon top was very shiny and nice.
Yes, yes,
you guys
that's
found
right.
quite a lot of problems.
Yeah. But the thing is, the main thing that we do, what a lot of people don't do, is we will try and keep the car on the road rather than ripping it to bits. I mean, Dan Rubinstein, Chris Salter, classic examples. They bought 2 cars that should have just been scrapped. Anyone else would have scrapped those, and we have got those on the road. Now, you have to be careful. The customers' budgets are not massive because they've got a collection of cars, and we don't want to kill the car, so we have to try and put that car onto the road as sympathetically as possible. So we can't do a perfect job on a particular car like that. But then when you get another car where everything else is perfect, but there's a certain area and the customer wants it done like yourself, you can do it. So we do like to pride ourselves in we can do different levels of workmanship depending on what the customer's budget is. Is there anyone?
Mechanically, could we keep them on the road indefinitely? Have you got enough? They could be remanufactured and all that.
Yeah, the GS owners in particular, GSA owners, are such passionate people about their cars that they have put their trust in me to reinvest in the parts remanufacturing of the parts. So it will never be a problem, Christoph, because we can, if we get to a stage with an item that we can't get, I'll get it remanufactured. That's what we'll do. If every GS owner went on eBay and bought their parts, or went to Auto Jungles and bought their parts, we won't have any parts. There won't be any business. But it's because people are coming to me and buying the parts. We've got the pot of money to do it.
So you're doing the same for BX?
Yeah, doing the same for BX. Yeah.
Will you go on to Xantias?
No. Too old, you've got to stop somewhere. It's too much to do. You can do all cars, you can specialise in all the range, but to do it properly, you just can't do it like that, Dave. We do stock a few parts, we're seeing a few bits that are becoming troublesome on Xantia, and I am getting them from France and keeping them in stock. but I'm not going to do it to the same level as GS and BX. And I know I said this to Graham Wilson, and he always tells me, rubs it in, that I said this about BXs, but no, not with Xantids. GS and BX would be the ones. Not enough market. No, sadly. So BXs are more popular than ZXs. Yeah. Anyone else?
Right. Are you going to restore it? Is it going to be?
No, I'm not going to restore it. I can't afford to. I've got that thing that's costing me a fortune. The 8 fan. Yeah, totally. The nice thing about this, David, is the roof box section is very good. That is the main thing on an AMI. That's the most important thing. I bought my AMI 8 out there. I sent a guy in France 3 photos. I wanted to know what the roof section was like on the outside and the inside, know what the headlining was like, and the profile in the door here that rots out, which this one's done. It's quite a complicated profile. That was the only thing that I was interested in. He sent me the photos, they were good, so I bought it unseen. This is completely restorable, no hesitation whatsoever. But it's finding someone who is going to commit to it.
I mean, just to indicate
10 grand.
10 grand.
10 grand. I would.
What would that bring you back?
It would be floor seals, the structure sorted out, and a repaint. But I would kind of throw it 10 grand. See what the customer says. If the customer says 5 grand, I say can't. Well, no, actually. 5 grand, it would be MOT. So I wouldn't do anything with that door off, put a handle on it, put a wing on it, but it won't be painted. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've done it.
Will you sell it as it is as a restoration project?
Yes. What worries me about this car is, I think I would have to be careful who I sell it to, because it could get in the hands of someone who's going to strip it for parts and may have the chassis or strip it for gearbox. Yeah, it's very vulnerable, this car at the moment. There is a chance that it could end up never being put back on the road. Yeah.
What's the worth that it is? I'm not interested.
400 quid, 300 quid. Not worth a lot. It's a shame the engine seat, actually, because it would have put the value up a bit more. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Dynatrol. We use a Dynatrol. Dynatrol, ML42, it's a very funny wax. An engine wax as well. If it's rusty inside, you can up against it.
On this side, you've got the camshaft which operates the distributor, which is got a fitting. If you get it wrong, you break the frame. This side, you've got the camshaft going through, lifting on a cam on the diaphragm for the electric pump. Okay. Also, the alternator drives the belt. The distributor on this vehicle is an SUV, but most common distributor used to be old-fashioned points, which was a set of the old points here. Cassette points, SUV. Easy to change. You took the cap off, pulled the points off the end of the distributor, put the set on. You didn't have to take all the distributor out of the engine and retime. To time the engine up is 1220. The gearbox is on, there's a hole in the side, use a drill, and there's what's called which is 10 degrees before top of the seat.
Well,
put a test light on it, move the distributor so the light
well, you don't have to be for a minute, love, but you will do.
Yes, the strobe light, we're going to use the strobe light to 2,533.
Speak up, Vic! Speak up a bit, mate!
Yes, where was I? Yeah, 33 degrees, 2,500 revs with a strobe light on the flywheel. You'll have a gauge down here which gives you the read where to go.
There's nowhere to plug it in.
On this vehicle is sitting on the emulsion block. The emulsion block is there to warm the fuel going in down the manifold inlet tube. Okay? So, because when they're cold, there's a lot of condensation to the side of the tube. Also, on the air filter, this tube, the aluminium tube to the air filter with a bimetal sensor which lets warm air go into the carburetor, stopping the jets from freezing. Okay? Yeah, I think that's near enough about it, actually. Oh, the flywheel. The flywheel is conventional parts, pressure plate, centre plate, thrust bearing. The other thing that used to go wrong with it were the teeth on the flywheel. The teeth are actually, the flywheel teeth come off separate, hammer and chisel off. They used to heat the flywheel at the start dog teeth up ever so hot, very hot, to put them on. But you must put them on the right way because half the tooth is soft and the other half is hard. If you get it on wrong, it drops out the starter motor thing. Right, I think that's about it. Let's see if it goes.
Would you be kind to tell those children over there it's going to be much
First, what we're going to do is make sure that we've got oil pressure. So what I'm going to do is going to put the other end of this to live. I'm going to put this onto the oil pressure switch. Once the light comes out, we know it's got oil pressure. Right, the light's on, turn it over. Keep going. That's it, gone out. Stop, come on. Right, start again. That's it, we've got oil pressure. Okay.
Sorry, a bit down, yeah. Yeah, if it's climbing up.
Two jets. First choke is when I just push this slightly. You can really hear it speed up. That's both jets work. Okay, so